Hello, everyone. This is Edwin Haynes right here in Houston, Texas, again for our Entrepreneur series, as I promised. And I told you from time to time we will have people to come by my office to actually, give some tips on what it is that they have been doing in their respective businesses and industries. And I have an icon of the direct sales industry, but an icon in business now, period. And he is my good friend, brother, best friend, and business partner, Mr. Holton Buggs. And I'm telling you right now, I am really excited. I'm trying to contain myself. But, really, truly, I have so much respect for Mr. Buggs because of the years that he's imparted, the knowledge that I have now, and the lifestyle that I have right now. This is a gentleman action that a company that we're a part of right now, Organo. He is considered the CVO, the Chief Visionary Officer of the company. It's his job to cast the vision, and it's the distributor's job to go out there and do the work along with the employees at the company to help carry that vision out. And he's done very well with that. Over $2 billion of sales worldwide, 54 different countries in just that company alone. He has helped many people around the world, and I consider him a living legend in this industry. And so many of you all, if you haven't had a chance to look him up, I'm telling you right now, this is the man right here. And so, Mr. Buggs, I appreciate you coming out to talk with us here on this series that we're doing.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here, and this is my first time seeing him nervous. He was just at my house the other night, and we were bowling in my bowling alley, and he came in talking all kind of noise, no nervousness whatsoever. We sitting here over 2 cups of coffee. And you got the nerve to have some jitters. So he said he want me to give some tips, and today, and I guess that's what this session is going to be about. So what we're going to do, we're going to tip it over.
We're going to tip it over.
We're going to tip it over.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't mind too, because we have some other people. Now, Mr. Buggs, this is going to go out to many people in different industries. And as you now have gone on to diversify yourself, I know both of us still, network marketing or direct sales has been a big part of our portfolio.
Yes.
But it has taught us a lot.
A lot.
If people are able to go through and build what we have been able to build in this industry, you probably can go just about anywhere and thrive. I just want them also, if you don't mind, just share a little bit, because people now hear your story, see the success, the homes, and all the different things, and I know where we come from.
Right.
But if you don't mind, do you mind sharing a little bit of your background?
Yeah. Well, my background is probably similar to a lot of you who are watching this, and sometimes when you sit and you watch what people call legends or experts or icons, and I appreciate all of those accolades. But sometimes it makes us look more important or much bigger than we really are. But my background is very similar to a lot of you. I mean, I grew up raised by my mother. There was 3 of us in the household. I have 5 brothers in total, but it was just 3 of us. And those are my mother's children. And so it was my mom working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. I remember growing up not having a home telephone. I remember growing up not having a car. I remember growing up and it was very tight just to eat what we really wanted to eat, and going to a restaurant called Morrison's on Friday when my mom got paid, and I used to get the Salisbury steak. And that was like a real big deal for us. So those were meager beginnings, but my mom worked hard and she did everything she could do to keep me in private school because she wanted to create an environment. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later. And that environment that she created at home, in terms of who she was, in terms of who I should be, and me being a leader and a provider, is really what shaped everything that I'm doing today. And so I did go to, I graduated high school, I went to college, and on a football scholarship. My academics weren't the greatest. I think I scored like an 870 on my SAT scores. Enough for every college to tell me thanks, but no thanks. So I definitely wouldn't have been voted most likely to succeed educationally. But that didn't matter. I had a very high EQ, and that's the emotional quotient. I didn't have a very high IQ.
Wow.
And so, but I worked in where my strengths were. And so after finishing college, and I was finished when I was done, meaning that I don't have a degree. Okay. So when I got tired of going to class every day after 5 years and some change, I decided to go into the business world. Mm-hmm. And so what happened is I did an internship at a company one day, not one day, but one summer. And I realized that this company, all of these engineers, and I was in Tennessee working for a place called NIPR, National Institute for Petroleum and Energy Research. Sound real educated. They were, I wasn't. But I looked around one day and I saw all of these educated people having one of the most boring lives I've ever seen. And I'm not judging engineers.
Right.
It just wasn't me.
Right.
And I said, if I be real good at this is what I'm going to do.
Oh, wow.
And I was a freshman or a sophomore, but my car was just as nice as anybody's in the parking lot. These people have been working for 30 years.
Wow.
And so I was real good. I think life for me was real simple. Find somebody who's already done what you want to do. Look at the success that they've had for 20 to 30 years. And if you duplicate them, that's where you'll want to be. And first of all, I didn't want to be pulling out of anybody else's parking lot 30 years later.
Wow.
And so after that internship, I got involved in sales and I started to earn commission. Worked for a company called Circuit City, earning commission.
Oh, wow.
And that's what started for me. And after that, when I finished, decided I was done with college, I started my first business, and it was a huge failure. The best thing could have ever happened for me. And it just started a whole process of experiences of failure. Failure, experience after failure, experience after failure, experience. And I learned off of all of those experiences. And I just never repeated those same experiences, or I tried real hard not to. And that's what contributed to the success that I have right now. It wasn't all of these successes; it was all of the failures.
Wow. I one of the things that I did learn is that people learn more from failure than they do success. That came from.
You know what? Successful people learn more.
That's true. That's
from failures than they do from success.
Absolutely. If they pay attention. I was reading something and it was saying that, I forgot who the author or whatever was saying that most people never evaluate the wins. They evaluate, but the successful people evaluate the failures, and then that's when they go and make their adjustments.
That's right.
And so I definitely appreciate that. And so here you are now fast forwarding, from the years of things that you and I have gone through as well. That's almost 20 years now that we have been running together. You have been my coach and my mentor for 20 years, and I appreciate that. And what I like about what's going on right now is that not only have you been able to do that for me, but countless number of other people around the world.
Right.
And that's still continuing. You had that vision even before it happened. I just want to ask you a question here. What did it take for you to get to your level of success? And when I say success too, I'm going to put a number to it. I don't know, hope you don't mind. I know for a fact you are a multiple 8-figure earner. Okay, period.
Correct.
And have millionaires that you have created in what you do. But to come from where you are, a lot of people, they try to duplicate what you have in terms of results, but most people don't want to go through the process.
Right.
And I know you can't get into all of it, but I want to ask you a question. What did it take for you to get to that level of success that you have right now? What type of mindset did you have to have?
Well, first of all, I have to say this, in all sincerity, I'm humbled and I'm honored. And I'm proud to be sitting here and having you do this interview, because I remember when we first connected and first met, Edwin was somebody who didn't want to talk to anybody. We said he was afraid to lead silent prayer in church. And to see the success that he has, and that's why he's able to host this interview, because when he talks about millionaires, he was the first one. I didn't create it. I laid the pathway and I said, hey, here's an environment. Everybody go and get what you can get. And he got the most and became the first person that I've ever coached and mentored to become a millionaire. So, and now multiple millionaire. But it took, for me, it's a little, I like to break it down and make it relatable to most people, because most people give these cookie cutter, concepts of what it takes. And that just wasn't me. It wasn't me. It took learning from anybody and everybody that I could learn from that I trusted.
Wow.
Okay. And so I read a lot. I read quite a few books, not as many because I'm a slow reader. I don't read real fast, and when I read a page, it takes me about 5 minutes, and then I'm thinking about something completely different, and I got to come back. So I'm not the fastest reader, but I can listen. Nothing interrupts my mind when I was listening to my cassette. So I would sleep at night and listen to cassette tapes over and over and over again, and that's how I started to train my mind. Number one, on attitude, okay? Because what I would listen to is not how to do it. Most people go and look for how to or techniques or give me a strategy. I started to listen to successful people, and I just listened to their thought process, how they handle challenges, their emotional approach to business and success, and their emotional approach to failure. And I just saturated my mind with that because I would find a technique. The technique is all around. What's missing for most people is mental toughness and mental attitude and the approach towards success and failure. And so that became my biggest secret, because how you can go to any bookstore and put in how to, and you're going to have a zillion things.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, they've got books now. What is it? Mac for Dummies, Windows for Dummies. All these books for dummies. It gives you how to, but nothing says positive mental attitude for dummies. And so that became my secret. So when you say what did it take? It took strength. It took resolve. It took being a great student, and I was humble enough to know that everything that I knew wasn't all there was to know. And so that's where a lot of people get hung up on, because
everything you knew,
everything that I knew, and everything that I knew wasn't all there was to know.
Oh my goodness. And
some folk think that everything that they know, it must be right because I know it, or I thought of this, so I must be right. It's my thought. And so I think that's one of my biggest secrets. My mom always told me to be humble and follow somebody who's already done it and be a great student. And that's what it was. I became a great student.
Wow. I can't wait to go back and watch the interview just on this short time. I wish we had a whole lot more. I'm going to have to get you back in here.
No problem.
Well, listen, and talk about the work ethic, if you don't mind. Because, a lot of people think they can, just get involved in something and work it when they want to work it and do it. But if they want to have a level of success or a high level of success, what do you say on the work ethic?
Here's what I'm going to tell you about work ethic. I have people ask me all the time, well, how many presentations must I show? How many people must I talk to? How big my list needs to be? Let me give you the real answer. As big as it needs to be. As many as you need to show. As many as you need to talk to. There is no specific number. I can't say, okay, if you give me a list of 500, you're going to be rich. You can give me a list of 5,000 and you may not even make $500. Or you can have the right person with the right positive mental attitude who only needs 50 people, but they've got the right mental attitude. They connect with the right people and they go out and make $5 million. And so stop looking. When a person asks me how many what they're looking for is a shortcut. They're looking for an employee mentality to be in an entrepreneurial setting. It doesn't work that way. See, an employee, we tell an employee, hey, listen, you're going to work 40 hours this week, 40 hours next week. Listen, I worked until the job was done, and then the job was never done. That means I kept on working. Right. But I kept also building my positive mental attitude. So it's really the attitude. And when you develop the attitude, you're not afraid of the work because it don't feel like work. You're chasing something that you know is attainable, and you don't stop until you go out and get it. So when you want to know what work ethic is, that's what work ethic is. It's not a system of, I wake up every day and I do this. It didn't work like that for me. I do it until it's done.
Wow. So if you develop the attitude, then everything else falls in line. So the attitude leads or precedes the work.
Exactly. Attitude precedes the effectiveness of your work. You can have a poor attitude, do some work, and you're not going to get results.
Oh man, I wish I had more time. Oh my goodness. Listen, I have another question here. As we now are in, you've gone on and you have, real estate company, music company that's doing very well. I mean, several other projects that I know that you have going on. You've always still kept your passion in the lead, because you taught me the same thing. That's why networking and, it's something that we can get probably the most gratification out of, because we've been able to help the most people. Right. And as we now are getting ready to go and scale the companies from this level to the next level, we out there doing what we have to do. I'm going to ask you this too. What is the state of the industry right now of direct sales in particular? I know we can talk about many other industries, but in particular this one, what do you see the state of the industry right now?
I see the state of the industry actually becoming more significant than it ever has before. I hear a lot of people talking about, millennials are taking over. Millennials have taken over a section of the population. But the network marketing industry has been solid for the last 25, 35 years. The sweet spot is from age 35 to 55. This is why. Because when a person graduates, they go to school, they graduate from college, right? Mm-hmm. What they're focused on is developing a career. So they go out, pursue a particular career. And what happens is this, after about 10 years, they start to realize that everything that they thought college was going to give them is not giving it to them. But now they have 2 kids, or 3 kids. Now they've got a mortgage. Now they've got 2 car payments. And now the wife has to go to work, if she wasn't before, just to take care of this lifestyle. So what do they look for? They say, well, we need another source of income. Mm-hmm. And so now it becomes a family opportunity. Instead of the wife going to work, they join network marketing, or she joins a network marketing business. That's why 74% of the revenue in this industry is from women, because the spouse or the wife is looking for additional revenue without having to be confined to a job.
Wow.
It's always going to be there. So if a person's trying to target millennials only, they're going to be sadly mistaken. If a person was trying to target before baby boomers, they're sadly mistaken. The sweet spot's 35 to 55. It's been there for the last 40 years. It's not about the change now.
Wow.
You can make a little bit of money focusing on a specific demographic, but you will only or always get rich and create wealth if you focus on the sweet spot. We talked about that in golf, right?
Yes.
On that sweet spot.
That's
So
right.
you hit the ball in the sweet spot,
Yes.
you're going to get a much further distance. And so the industry is I think is healthy. There is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity for scams and stuff as well because of the internet and how simple things are. But the industry is very strong.
Yeah.
It's a very strong industry and it's not going anywhere.
Wow. And I ask you this too. You've been the CEO of the company. See, now you have a dual role. You run a major corporation. Hundreds of millions of dollars a year as a corporation. And so our company can be compared to any other Fortune, whatever, 100 or company that's out there. Where do you see the company of Organo now that as one of the companies that's in your portfolio and you the lead? Where do you see that company our company fitting in with the industry right now?
Well, I think what we've done, number one, we've already transformed and impacted the industry from a belief standpoint. Mm-hmm. What we accomplished and what we are accomplishing, very few companies have ever done it before. Yeah. And so we raised the eyes for so many people to believe what was possible in this industry. There were nobody thinking about 7-figure monthly earners until we came aboard. And then we created multiple 7-figure monthly earners, and now it's a topic of discussion now. Before us, it wasn't any. And where we're transcending to right now is now 54 countries right now. We're now in 2 different product categories, and now we're going to be adding a 3rd one. What our focus is right now is actually building one of the largest consumer-based models or customer base of consumer goods, consumable products that are healthier living products around the world. And that's what our focus is right now.
Wow. And we stay in our lane.
Yeah, and we stay in our lane.
Yeah.
Everybody come up with all of these widgets and fidgets and all of this stuff and gadgets, and it looks really good, but we're not a flavor of the week company. We know exactly who we are. We know exactly where we're going, and we just stay focused. That's why it's Chief Visionary Officer, because you got to see the vision, okay, and stay focused on that vision. And that's exactly what we're doing. And that's why we're successful. We got an incredible team. You are a major part of that. You were the very first distributor that I enrolled into Organo. And so now when you look at 2 million distributors, you were distributor number 1.
Wow.
Okay. Specifically in my organization. And from a distributor, I'm a distributor at heart. That's who I am. But I'm a leader as well. And so I just took my talents and skills as a leader and said, let me loan these to the company and be able to play a dual role. So it's very difficult. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It's necessary.
And I know for a fact you didn't want that role. I was the one pushing you to get that role.
Exactly.
But I'm glad that he's there because right now we're making history with that. And now it's starting to spread across. Because you've always said that you wanted your leaders to have 6 different 6-figure monthly incomes. And networking would be one of them.
Right.
And because of you now, we're sitting in my office now and doing some things there. But as I'm also getting ready to go on the road to represent the company and get some things going for the next wave of momentum. And this in closing, Mr. Buggs, if you don't mind here, because we got a lot of people just period from an entrepreneur standpoint, whether they own a job in a leadership role or capacity. what tip would you leave the audience with right now in terms of being an entrepreneur or a leader in their respective industries? What would you give them from your experience?
Number one, I'll tell you this right here. If you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I'll tell you this right here. I want you to make sure that you live way below your means. I see so many people in network marketing and other businesses get caught up in what I call the social media fakeisms. And what I mean by that is people take crap lives, and what they do is they use social media to polish them up and make them look so really good, and it puts pressure on people to look better than they are, to spend more money than they really need to spend. Don't do that. If you're an entrepreneur, keep your seed capital. Make that seed capital continue to grow. So stay conservative with your money. The other thing that you need to do is make sure that you continue to educate yourself. The internet now is making more information available, and because it is, people are getting smarter. You got to get smarter as well. You cannot become tomorrow's leader with today's thought process. And so you've got to think more in detail in the future and be on the competitive edge from a leader's perspective. And the other thing is allow other people to experience their freedom. You've got to be a freedom warrior if you're going to be an entrepreneur. And so bring people along with you and let them spread their wings, because the days of suppressing people and you being the only superstar, what happens is you become the big fish in a small pond. And the big fish in the small pond actually drowns at some point in time. And so you want to be that whale out there in the ocean with other whales. And those are the things I'll tell you from a personal standpoint. Just make a commitment. Make a commitment of what it is that you want. Draw it out. See the picture. See the vision. As I always say, people don't get what they want. They get what they picture. Decide what you're willing to give up to go out and get that. Put together a plan. Plan your work your plan, and make sure that you get a mentor. Find somebody who's done exactly what it is that you want, whose skill sets you can duplicate in your life, and then just go out there and duplicate them. If you're looking for an example of it, the guy on my right here to your left, he's a shining example of it. He didn't have all the skill sets for network marketing. He wasn't the best speaker. He didn't have a lot of those things. And everything he didn't have, I had it. And he said, hey, listen, if this guy can fill my emptiness, let me take his fullness and take a little bit of what he's got and fill his emptiness. And guess what happened? He became a multimillionaire. It's not all the credit to me. It's just that I was talented in certain areas that he wasn't. And so don't compete also with your mentor. We've never, ever, ever, in almost 20 years, we've never had a competitive spirit amongst one another. And that's why we're sitting here right now doing this video, multimillionaire from multimillionaire to you, future multimillionaire. And hopefully you make this information work for you.
Wow, man. Impact.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I told we're going to tip it over. All right? We're going to tip it over.
I can tell you right now, he said we're not competitive. It's only competitive at his bowling alley at his house, in which my name is going to be on it. But anyway.
In pencil. Not in pencil. Not etching, okay?
All right. You know what? We're going to wrap up this segment right now. I appreciate you, Mr. Buggs, again for taking out your time. I know you're getting ready to head out the country. But as we always say, let's walk in success together. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys at the top.
I'll tell you this. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you tune into every single segment. He's told me about the lineup of some of the people he's going to have here. I don't know when the next one's going to be. Maybe 2 weeks from now. Make sure you tune in. Get the schedule. Follow his social media. And make sure you tune in. See you at the top.
See you at the top.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right.